بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So we started discussing the ma'arif. So now we're going to start one by one. And the order as mentioned in the book, we're going to go according to that. The first one he mentioned was az-zamir. So we're going to discuss the zamir. So az-zamiru. Amma az-zamir. As far as the zamir is concerned, فَيُؤْتَى بِهِ it is brought. Why is it brought? لكون المقام للتكلم أو الخطاب أو الغيبة ما الاختصار. It is brought because the maqam, the situation, the scenario is either for a speaker, mutakallim is a speaker, first person, or khitab, second person, or ghaiba, third person. Okay? Mal ikhtisar. What is it mal ikhtisar? For example, instead of saying fa'ala anta, by bringing a zamir, what happens? It becomes shorter. By bringing a zamir, fa'al is equal to fa'alta, isn't it? So that's why mal ikhtisar. It makes it shorter. Okay? Yeah? Got it? Nahu, for example, أنا رجوتك في هذا الأمر. So, أنا the zamir, رجوت the zamir, ka the zamir, في هذا الأمر. I had hope for you in this matter. I had kept hope in you in this matter. وأنت وعدتني بإنجازه. And you had وعدت, أنت zamir, وعدت zamir, needs a maf'ul zamir بإنجازه, to fulfill it. You had promised to fulfill it. There's nothing really there. Okay, basic zamir. Right. Now this is where there's a balagah aspect comes in. This is something new. The other part, all nahwa, nothing new in there. He says here, والأصل في الخطاب. When you have the zamir, the second person zamir, meaning zamir mukhatab. So والأصل في الخطاب, the original rule and principle regarding zamir mukhatab is that أن يكون لمشاهد معين. That it should be for a mushahad who is muayyan. Mushahad means somebody you can see. Shahada yushahidu mushahadatan. What shahida mean? To witness. So mushahad, you can see him, he can see you. Something in front of you. So you should only, in theory, be using the zamir al-mukhatab when that person you're addressing, or if you want to, what do you call it? Personify a non-living being. You want to talk to a mountain, you want to talk to a house, you want to talk to something which is not a living being, but treat it as a person. So that's only happen when it's in front of you. Correct? In theory. Okay? However, وَقَدْ يُخَاطَبُ غَيْرُ الْمُشَاهَدِ إِذَا كَانَ مُسْتَحْضَرًا فِي الْقَلْبِ. However, sometimes غَيْرُ الْمُشَاهَدِ, someone or something who is not present, can be addressed using the khitab sigha إِذَا كَانَ مُسْتَحْضَرًا فِي الْقَلْبِ, once it is present within the heart. Now obviously they can have an argument on this. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ. So, oh Allah, we worship you. So is Allah mushahad? So well, if you reach that level, isn't it? اعبد الله كأنك تراه. So worship Allah as though you are seeing him. So if you're seeing him, then I can see Allah. That's why. As though I'm seeing Allah, that's why he's there. But let's say, for example, a similar example. You're talking, imagine you can't sleep at night. You're talking to your beloved who you're missing. So I can't believe you done this to me. I can't believe you done this to me. Like hallucinating, talking. So is the person not there, is it? Okay. So in إياك نعبد, it can have a whole long discussion here. Is it mustahdhar fil qalb? Is it mushahad? Not mushahad? Hadha? All. But the theory is that even though you can't see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's mustahdhar fil qalb, is present. Okay? You got it? So that's one thing. So sometimes the original rule of khitab is that you use this sigha when you are talking about somebody or talking to somebody who's in front of you and you can see him. And you can use it, you can imagine that person, you're imagining that person and he's in your heart, you're imagining him. Or thinking about him, you can also use the zamir khitab then. Fine? Second. وغير المعين. Okay? إذا, what happens here? وقد يخاطب, this is معطوف عليه. وقد يخاطب غير المعين. And sometimes a غير معين. Do you know when you go town and the thing you went there for sold out? How do you feel?
You.
You. Who's you? I'm talking to you, you or you?
Anyone who's listening.
Any you. Exactly. So that's that you that we use in English. When you okay, when you start the car, then do this. So like I said, you told him, not me. It's not. So imagine somebody gives you instructions that when you're on the computer, make sure you back up the Dropbox. And the other guy doesn't do it. So well, you told him, you didn't tell me. But when I said you, I meant you was general. Don't use the word you. Don't use the word you in a general sense. When it's snowing, it's very slippery. It's very possible you may slide. Who's it talking to? You only, or just like all yous? But there's anybody. Whoever, it applies to everybody. Okay? When it's winter season, when it's cold, you must make sure you wear a jacket. Make sure you put good clothing on, because you could catch a cold. So it's about every you. Whoever's listening to that is you. So the general you. You understand? So he's saying his sin happens in Arabic. And sometimes you can address a غير معين, an unspecified person, إذا قصد تعميم الخطاب, when generalizing the address. Khitab is to address somebody. The ta'mim is generalizing. Generalizing. Do you write a Z or a S? If my Americans watching, they have a problem with us. Look, there's S and Zs. So generalizing. So when you want to generalize the khitab, the address, you want to speak to somebody who is what? You want to make a general address. Not to you or you, this generally. Even then in Arabic, say we use you in English, you can also use that same you, that ka or anta in Arabic. Why? لكل من يمكن خطابه. Okay? So you can sometimes the unspecified person is addressed by the khitab sigha when generalizing the address is intended. Generalizing for who? For every single person who the khitab can apply to. Who the address can apply to. For example, you see this example. نحو اللئيم من إذا أحسنت إليه أساء إليك. A wretched person is that person who when you do good to him, he does bad to you. Good to him, when you do good to him, he does bad to you. So who's you? When you do good to him, it's only you. When you do good, means everybody. So the anta here, the ahsanta and the asa'a ilayka, these zama'ir, they were mukhatab, hazir. Second person said zamirs. But they're being used for what? They're being used for a general meaning. Okay? So the original ruling of khitab, of the zamir hadir or mukhatab, is when the person in front of you, one particular person or two particular people, or a group of people who you have fixed, is mushahad and muayyan. But sometimes you can go away from mushahad and you can go away from muayyan. Okay? So you say there's two things you're supposed to have: mushahad and muayyan. Sometimes you can go away from the mushahad and you can go away from the muayyan. Do you understand? Does that make sense? Yeah? That's the end of what's in the book. Okay? Another example. Allah says, example of this khitab being am. Allah says in the Quran, وَلَوْ تَرَى إِذْ وُقِفُوا عَلَى النَّارِ. Only if you were to see when the disbeliever is standing upon the fire of Jahannam, about to go into it. أَعَذَنَ اللَّهُ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. So tara, one opinion is refers to the Prophet ﷺ, but the other opinion refers to what? Everyone who reads the Quran. Allah says in the Quran, أَلَمْ تَرَوْا كَيْفَ خَلَقَ اللَّهُ سَبْعَ سَمَاوَاتٍ طِبَاقًا. Have you not seen how Allah created the 7 heavens, one above the other in layers? So who's tarawna? Who's Allah referring to? The Sahaba only? A few group of people? No, every antum. It's am khitab. Another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that this is from the previous anbiya. This is the hikmah and the wisdom and the sayings of the previous anbiya. What is it? إِذَا لَمْ تَسْتَحْيِي فَاصْنَعْ مَا شِئْتَ. When you don't feel embarrassed, then do whatever you want. It has two meanings. One is like it's a amr, but for zajr. Do what you want. If you don't have haya, then do what you want. I mean, you lost your haya quality. You don't have modesty, if embarrassment, you don't have a sense of answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so do what you want now. Or, the second meaning is, إِذَا لَمْ تَسْتَحْيِ, think, if you were to see me doing this, would I be embarrassed? Would I feel, no, I shouldn't be seen doing this. If you feel that way, if you don't feel that, no, it doesn't matter if you see me. If people should know that I do this, it might be something like somebody cleans their nose in the bathroom. Obviously, it's a bit embarrassing, but it's not a big deal. But it's like, no, this is something wrong he's doing. So if you don't feel that thing, no, I'm not doing anything wrong. Certain things you don't do in public anyways. But it's nothing wrong. Nobody will say, oh, how can you do that? So if you have this feeling that, no, it's nothing wrong, people to know about this, it doesn't matter. Then first not matter, you can do it. Just two meanings. But whatever the meaning is, according to the muhaddithun, is tastahyi is what? Every person. First not every person. Shi'ta. So the zamir in here is referring to anybody. When you do not feel embarrassed, do what you want. So you is referring to every single you. Got it? That's the end of what's in the book. The two rules I want to point out, one rule I want to point out here to you, it's quite important, is that a zamir, hadir, doesn't need a marji', antecedent. If I say anta, you don't need to have who's the anta referring back to because it's in front of you. If I say ana, you know who's the ana zamir referring to? If I say ana, I don't have to say I. If I say he, say who he? She, who is she? Who are you referring to? Do you understand? So the zamir ghaib has to have a what? A marji'. Has to have what? Antecedent. You did this already, innit? We did this before, innit? Beginning of the book, when you have isma qabla zikr. So you have to have an antecedent, correct? But only for ghaib, correct? So for example here, Allahu la ilaha illahu. So Allah comes first, and then who? So the who zamir refers back to lafzul jalala. Yeah? Common sense, nothing. However, there are two places where you don't have to have, zamir can be for ghaib, but you don't have to have a marji'. Because automatically, from the context or from the verb, you know who he's referring to. One example, kullu man alayha fan. Fana yafni, to perish. Fanin means perish. Kullu, everyone upon it will perish. Who's ha zamir refer back to? What is it? Say it, in case you get it wrong. The word, what's the Arabic word for, Arabic feminine word for ard? So ardun. So even though the word ardun hasn't been mentioned before, everybody knows that ardun here. So there's no zamir. Similarly, for example, hatta idha balagat at-taraqiyah. Balagat, sorry, that's a mistake. Balagat at-taraqiyah. وقيل من راق وظن أنه الفراق والتفت الساق بالساق تراقية. When the here reaches the taraqi, tarqud is this collarbone. والتفت الساق بالساق, and a person is dying, what happens is he's kind of shrivels up his feet. So the taraqi, who's the balagat? What's the zamir in there? Ar-ruh, an-nafs. Ruh is also muannas. So ruh. So here you don't have to have it because it's ma'loom, it's wadih. So even though there is no previous mention of ruh and nafs before these things, there's no mention of ard before that. You can automatically tell because of what the fa'il is, what the maf'ul is, or what the context is talking about.
But isn't it that it's mentioned previously, not exactly in the sentence, but elsewhere?
No, sometimes it doesn't mention elsewhere. Okay.
It's known.
It's known that if we say kullu man alayha fan, we know straight away that ha means ard. Okay. Right, now this is something we haven't done and it's quite important. Zamiru sha'an. What happens is that the Arabs sometimes in their speech, when something is very, very important, is very grand, you want to point out something very, very lofty, severe, what they do is that they bring a zamir at the beginning of a sentence. What do? You bring a zamir ghaib at the beginning of a sentence, either who or here. Let me give you an example. So if I say, for example, Allahu Ahad. If I say Allahu Ahad, what does that mean? Allah is one. Okay, if I say Allahu Huwa Ahadun, this gives what benefit now? Allah, He is one. Okay, not this. This is Zamir Fasl in between. We're talking now about the Arabs will do what? Bring a Zamir here. And this Zamir doesn't refer to anything. Huwa Allahu Ahad. Who doesn't refer to anybody? It just creates an awe. Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad. It shows you that this is very, very important.
We translate who as he. No. Do you translate it?
No, they don't translate it. But obviously, because this concept doesn't exist in English, so then how do we express it in English? What do you? So then here you have varying translations. Okay. But Huwa Allahu Ahad. He is one. So Allahu Ahad. So even I said He is one. Allahu Ahad. Allah is one. And the Huwa is here for show that. Look at the hadith. Quran ayah. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنِ افْتَرَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا أَوْ كَذَّبَ بِآيَاتِهِ. Who can be more oppressive or more wrong than that person who fabricates a lie against Allah or he refuses Allah's ayat? Correct? إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الظَّالِمُونَ. Who's the me referring to? But then this is a file. Because this is the if you want to say this refers to man, but then what in tarkeeb? Because then لا يفلح الظالمون is a khabar, and what in here refers back to that? Nothing. This zamir has no marji. It doesn't refer to anything. It doesn't refer there. It doesn't refer there. This zamir has been brought to say Look, لا يفلح الظالمون, a very, very important fact. تأكيد إنه لا يفلح الظالمون.
Right, doesn't a Mosul always need a marji that goes back?
The Zamir.
Mosul.
Yeah, but man here is istifham. It's not mawsul. You following? So here, إنه لا يفلح, this who is what you call ضمير الشأن. Why is it? ضمير الشأن. So because ضمير الشأن, it makes emphasize the لا يفلح الظالمون context. The content. لا يفلح الظالمون is very, very important. Another example here, look. وَاتَّقِي دَعْوَةَ الْمَظْلُومِ. Fear the dua, the prayer, the invocation of the oppressed. Somebody is oppressed, I fear the dua. Because why? Even if they're not Muslim. You wrong somebody, you hurt them, then their heart is very broken, they're very sincere in their prayers. And they make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will accept it very quickly. Why? فَإِنَّهُ لَيْسَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ اللَّهِ حِجَابٌ. So إِنَّهُ, who refer back to?
Because here.
فَإِنَّ is because. فَإِنَّ is because, but what about who? Who doesn't refer to anything? Because da'wah is muannas. Okay? And then so it says that who is what you call Zamiru Sha'an. Okay, Zamiru Sha'an. And if the Zamir is muannas, you call it Zamirul Qissa. Yeah, you call it Zamirul Qissa. It's the same thing. One is muzakkar, one is muannas. Okay? What does that mean? That means that tells you, oh, this fact, laysa baynahu wa bayna Allahi hijab, is a very important thing. That's why I say, innahu laysa baynahu wa bayna Allahi ta'ala hijabun. No, that's not innahu, because innahu, we refer back to the word Allah that comes before. So the who in there is zamir first for emphasis. There's this who, there's a marji'. Here there's no, you can't find a marji'. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, who we refer back to? Nothing. Do you understand? So it's the end of the zamir. Inshallah tomorrow, we go to the next section. So we discuss starting ma'arifah, and the first ma'arifah is zamir. Most of it's to do with nahwa, but two more points that we added in here today. About the khitab, when the zamir is mukhatab, how it's used. Okay? Any questions? Do you understand? Yeah? Subhanallah bihamdi subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.